A cozy, peaceful kitchen appears on screen. Sunlight spills across the countertop. A hand reaches for a mug. A pan sizzles gently on the stove. Everything seems safe, warm, familiar. But then the scene shifts. Slowly, silently, the camera zooms in on small details. A flaking non-stick pan, a warped plastic container, a chipped plate tucked behind newer dishes. Could your kitchen be harboring hidden health risks? As we age, we become more conscious of what we eat. But what about what we cook with? Many everyday kitchen items that feel harmless may actually be working against your health, especially if you're over 60. In this video, you'll discover 15 toxic kitchen items that seniors should declutter immediately. These aren't just about mess or clutter. Some of them could be increasing your risk of illness, contributing to inflammation, or even messing with your digestion and energy levels. We'll walk through the most common hazards hiding in plain sight. And for each one, I'll show you a smarter, safer replacement that makes your kitchen feel fresh, functional, and safe again. Whether you live alone or share your home with loved ones, your kitchen should support your well-being, not silently sabotage it. So grab a cup of tea, open your mind, and let's start this gentle but powerful transformation, one drawer at a time. 1. Non-stick cookware with worn coatings. Imagine this. You're making your usual morning eggs, and as you slide them out of that old trusty non-stick pan, a few tiny flakes of coating go along for the ride, straight onto your plate. It's subtle, it's silent, but it's not safe. Over time, the Teflon coating on many non-stick pans begins to break down, especially when exposed to high heat or scratched by metal utensils. When that happens, the pan can release toxic compounds like PFOA, chemicals that have been linked to thyroid issues, immune disruption, and even cancer. If you've been using the same non-stick pan for more than a few years, or you see any signs of peeling, bubbling, or discoloration, it's time to say goodbye. Here's a better way forward. Switch to stainless steel, cast iron, or ceramic-coated cookware. Stainless steel gives you durability and consistent heat without any chemical risks. Cast iron, when properly seasoned, offers a naturally non-stick surface, and it can even add a small boost of iron to your meals. Ceramic is lightweight, easy to clean, and safe for high-heat cooking. If you're feeling hesitant about giving up your non-stick go-to, start small. Replace just one skillet. Cook something simple, maybe scrambled eggs or sautéed veggies, and notice the difference in taste, texture, and peace of mind. A safer pan doesn't just cook better, it protects your health with every meal. 2. Plastic utensils and containers. You probably have a drawer full of them. Mismatched lids, stained edges, maybe even a few with melted corners. But here's what most people don't realize. Aging plastic isn't just unattractive, it's unsafe. Many older plastic containers and utensils contain BPA or similar chemicals that leach into your food, especially when exposed to heat from microwaves or dishwashers. Over time, the plastic breaks down, forming cracks and scratches, the perfect hiding spots for bacteria. Ever notice how your leftovers sometimes smell off after reheating in plastic? That's not just the food, it's the container too. The Smart Swap. Replace old containers with glass options that are microwave safe, easy to clean, and don't absorb smells or stains. Opt for stainless steel or bamboo utensils. They're sturdy, durable, and free of chemical risks. For flexibility, silicone tools are also great, heat-resistant, and long-lasting. This one simple change can elevate food safety, reduce waste, and, surprisingly, improve the taste of your meals. 3. Chipped or cracked dinnerware. That teacup with the tiny crack, the plate with a chip on the edge. We all keep them out of habit or nostalgia. But those imperfections can carry more than memories. Even small chips and hairline cracks are prime territory for bacteria, mold, and moisture, especially when exposed to warm, damp dishwashers or humid storage. And if your dishes were made years ago, there's an even greater risk: lead-based glazes, which were once common in ceramics. Lead doesn't just stay in the glaze, it can leach into food, particularly with hot, acidic dishes like soups or tomato-based sauces. The healthy shift: retire damaged dishes or repurpose them for decor. A chipped bowl makes a great flower pot. Invest in stoneware, tempered glass, or porcelain, materials known for being chip-resistant and food-safe. Look for labels that confirm your dinnerware is lead and cadmium-free. Keeping your kitchen safe doesn't mean giving up elegance. It means choosing items that protect your health and make mealtime a pleasure. Because every meal should be served on a surface you can trust. 4. Spices older than 5 years. Look inside your spice cabinet. If you can't remember when you bought that jar of paprika, it's probably been there too long. Old spices don't just lose flavor, they lose purpose. Ground spices begin to fade after just 2 years. Whole spices last a little longer, but by the 5-year mark, they're often nothing more than dust in a jar. Worse yet, expired spices can attract moisture, pests, and even mold, especially if stored above the stove, where heat accelerates decay. And the biggest loss? Their health benefits vanish too. No more anti-inflammatory powers, no more antioxidants, just wasted shelf space. But here's the good news. Refreshing your spice rack is like giving your cooking and your health a second wind. Start small. Toss anything that smells flat or unrecognizable. Replace your most used spices with fresh, high-quality jars in small amounts. Store them in a cool, dry place, not above the stove. And remember, flavor is fuel for appetite. When your food tastes better, you'll enjoy eating healthy again. 5. Aluminum cookware. That old aluminum pot may have seen 1,000 soups, but it's also seen better days. Aluminum is reactive, and when used with acidic foods, think tomato sauce, vinegar, citrus, it can leach into your meal, especially if the pot is scratched, pitted, or uncoated. Some research links aluminum exposure to health risks, including cognitive decline, a concern especially relevant to older adults. While nothing is conclusive yet, why take the risk when safer options are right there? Here's what you can do today. Retire worn aluminum pans, especially if they've lost their coating or are visibly damaged. Upgrade to stainless steel. It's non-reactive, reliable, and a long-term investment. Want even heat and nostalgic charm? Go with enamel-coated cast iron. It's durable and doubles as beautiful serveware. For lighter cooking, consider ceramic-coated non-toxic options. Your cookware should support your health, not quietly sabotage it. By swapping out outdated pots and pans, you're not just making meals safer, you're turning every dish into a vote for your future well-being. 6. Outdated small appliances. When still working isn't good enough. You plug it in, it still runs. So what's the harm in keeping that 20-year-old toaster or that blender from your first home? But here's the truth. Just because something works doesn't mean it's working safely. Old appliances can hide dangers behind familiar buttons. Worn wires, melting plastic, burnt smells, even invisible chemical emissions. One woman shared how her old coffee maker started giving her headaches until she discovered it had mold buildup in places she couldn't see. Another found out her vintage microwave was leaking radiation at unsafe levels. As we age, our senses may not pick up on these warnings as quickly. And that's why replacing outdated appliances isn't just about convenience. It's about protection. Start by asking, does this appliance get warm when it shouldn't? Does it smell off? Does it take longer than usual to perform simple tasks? If yes, it's time. And when you upgrade, consider this. Choose energy-efficient models that reduce both fire risk and your power bill. Look for multifunction appliances, like an Instant Pot or air fryer, that replace several old tools at once. And don't forget, decluttering bulky, outdated gadgets gives you physical and mental breathing room. This isn't just a purchase, it's a step toward a safer, calmer kitchen. 7. Old non-food items, the dirtiest things you never think about. You wipe down your counters every day, but if you're doing it with an old sponge full of bacteria, are you really cleaning or just spreading the mess around? It's easy to overlook. Sponges that never dry, dishcloths with a faint smell, or bottles of cleaner from 2010 still hiding under the sink. These items feel harmless, even invisible, but they could be sabotaging your health quietly, every single day. Think about this. A used sponge can carry more bacteria than a toilet seat. Expired cleaners can lose effectiveness or turn dangerous if ingredients break down. Old rags can grow mold, especially in humid kitchens. So here's your invitation to refresh, not just your supplies, but your sense of peace. Toss sponges that have been around too long. Switch to silicone scrubbers or antimicrobial dishcloths that dry faster and resist bacteria. Replace old bottles with natural, non-toxic cleaning sprays. Vinegar, baking soda, and lemon still work wonders. And why not brighten your space with new oven mitts or tea towels that feel soft, fresh, and loved? Because a clean kitchen isn't just about what you see, it's about what you don't want, living in the shadows. 8. Unused or duplicate gadgets. Less is more, especially in the kitchen. Presentation. A chaotic drawer overstuffed with random tools slowly transforms into a clean, organized space with only a few well-chosen essentials. We've all been there. Garlic presses, egg slicers, avocado savers, the mini blender we swore we'd use, but never did. As the years pass, these unused gadgets become mental noise. They take up space, slow down meal prep, and make cooking feel overwhelming. Here's the truth. You don't need more tools. You need the right ones. A senior home cook once shared, "When I finally donated my extras, I felt like I got my kitchen and my peace of mind back." So what's the solution? Mama, keep only what you've used in the last year. Replace single-use gadgets with multi-purpose tools. A good chef's knife beats 5 gimmicks. Store tools vertically in organizers for easier access. Donate or gift tools that no longer serve you. When your drawers feel lighter, cooking becomes a joy again, not a chore. Simplicity in your tools means freedom in your routine. 9. Rusty or dull knives. The silent danger in your cutlery drawer. Presentation. A shaky hand struggles to cut a tomato with a dull knife. Cut to a confident, smooth slice using a razor-sharp stainless steel blade. Most people think a sharp knife is more dangerous, but it's actually the opposite. Dull knives slip. They require more pressure, and that's where accidents happen. Rust, meanwhile, doesn't just dull the blade. It can introduce harmful particles into your food. Think of your knives as your daily tools of empowerment. When they're well maintained, you cut faster, cook smoother, and stay safer. Here's how to sharpen this part of your life. Replace rusty or cheap knives with a high-quality stainless steel set. Use a magnetic strip or wooden block for clean, dry storage. Sharpen your blades regularly, or get them professionally done once a year. Keep one go-to chef's knife that feels right in your hand. It'll become your kitchen companion. One woman said it best, "I thought I hated chopping. Turns out, I just had the wrong knife." Upgrading your knife isn't just about cutting food. It's about cutting stress, saving time and loving your kitchen again. 10. Expired canned goods. When shelf life means risk, not security. Presentation. A dusty can with a faded label rolls out of the back of a pantry shelf. Cut to a clean, neatly labeled row of updated pantry staples. We often stock up on canned goods for convenience and comfort, a sense of preparedness. But over time, what once promised nourishment may now be silently dangerous. Bulging lids, rusty rims, expired stamps you never noticed. These are signs of spoilage, and in seniors, where digestion and immunity are more sensitive, the risk is even greater. A viewer once wrote, "My mom ate from an old can of soup she thought was still good. She ended up in the ER with food poisoning. Since then, I check dates like a hawk." Expired canned goods can harbor botulism, bacteria, and toxins. That's not just unpleasant, it can be life-threatening. Here's your pantry refresh guide. Do a date sweep every 3 months. If it's expired, toss it. No guilt. Organize by rotation, oldest in front, newest in the back. Use a marker to write clear expiration dates on hard-to-read cans. Keep only what you'll use in the next 6 to 9 months. You don't need a stockpile, just a system. Because in your golden years, your kitchen should be a place of trust, not a gamble. 11. Dishware with faded designs. When beauty hides a toxic truth. Presentation. A lovely old teacup with a faded floral pattern transitions into a sleek, white, modern dish. Elegant, simple, safe. That plate may remind you of your first home. That mug may feel like your mother's touch. But nostalgia doesn't make dinnerware safe, especially if it's worn, chipped, or painted with outdated glazes. Many vintage plates, especially those made before the 1980s, were coated with lead-based designs. Beautiful to look at, but dangerous to eat from. One grandmother shared, "I used to serve soup in my mother's old china. Until I read it could contain lead. I felt sick just thinking about it." Here's the truth. If the design is faded, if the glaze is chipped, or if it's been in the family longer than your grandkids, it's time to retire it with grace. What to do instead? Test vintage dishes for lead with home test kits. Easy and affordable. Keep heirloom pieces as display or decor, not for serving. Upgrade to lead-free stoneware or tempered glass. Modern, elegant, and made for peace of mind. You deserve a table that nourishes, not one that risks your health. Let your memories live on, just not in your meals. 12. Old cutting boards. The unsuspected bacteria. Haven. Presentation. Close-up of a wooden cutting board with deep grooves, darkened from years of use. Then fade into a smooth bamboo board, being wiped clean with a soft towel and placed proudly on a countertop. You've chopped, diced, and prepped countless meals on that board. But over time, every slice tells a story. And unfortunately, so do the germs hiding in every groove. Deep knife marks in old plastic or wood boards are almost impossible to fully sanitize. Moisture, raw meat juices, and even invisible mold can settle into those tiny crevices, creating a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. The worst part? It happens slowly and silently. You don't need to overhaul your kitchen overnight, but this one change can immediately improve your food safety. Here's how. Replace heavily grooved boards with bamboo or treated wood. They're naturally antimicrobial and easier to maintain. Use separate boards for raw meats and vegetables to avoid cross-contamination. Apply a thin layer of food-safe oil to preserve wood boards and prevent cracking. Avoid placing boards in the dishwasher. It warps wood and shortens the life of even plastic ones. You've nourished others for years. Now's the time to protect yourself with clean, safe surfaces that care for your health too. 13. Old or worn-out baking sheets. What's sticking to your food might surprise you. Presentation: a zoom-in shot of a stained, warped baking sheet with burnt residue. The scene transitions into a clean, gleaming, non-toxic baking tray lined with parchment, topped with golden roasted vegetables. They've been in your kitchen for decades, your trusted old baking trays. But look closer. Those blackened spots? They're not just stains. They're burnt grease, rust, and years of buildup that can flake into your food. Even worse, when exposed to high heat, worn non-stick coatings can release toxins, and rust can leach into what you're eating. For seniors especially, these unseen dangers matter more than ever. Your digestion, immunity, and long-term wellness all begin with clean cooking tools. Here's how to upgrade safely. Retire warped or stained trays. They heat unevenly and degrade food quality. Choose non-toxic, non-stick options like ceramic-coated or heavy-duty stainless steel. Try parchment paper or silicone mats. They reduce direct contact, make cleanup easier, and extend the life of your pans. Label your new trays with a marker, 2024, so you'll know when it's time to reevaluate again. Cooking should be joyful, not a gamble. Start fresh with tools that love you back in every bake, roast, and golden brown finish. 14. Outdated food processors or blenders. When meal prep starts working against you. Presentation: a close-up of an old blender dripping onto the counter, blade stuttering. Switch to a modern model whirring smoothly, blending a vibrant smoothie. You press the button. It whirs, then sputters. Maybe it leaks a little. Maybe it smells a bit burnt. Sound familiar? Old blenders and processors don't just slow you down. They can spike your stress and safety risks, especially if they leak, overheat, or have blades too dull to handle soft fruit. Let's be honest. How many times have you skipped making that healthy smoothie or veggie soup because your machine just isn't what it used to be? I remember one subscriber writing, "I kept struggling with my old food processor. When I finally replaced it, I couldn't believe how much more often I cooked. It actually brought joy back into the kitchen." Here's the good news. Modern appliances are quieter, easier to clean, and more efficient than ever. Look for models with detachable parts, pulse control, and safety locks, especially useful if hand strength isn't what it used to be. And consider downsizing. A personal blender might be all you really need. Don't let outdated tools make healthy habits feel like hard labor. With the right gear, prepping meals becomes not a chore, but a pleasure again. 15. Unused specialty tools. When good intentions become clutter. Presentation: a cabinet stuffed with gadgets, pasta maker, fondue pot, spiralizer, then fade into a clean drawer with a simple whisk, tongs, and peeler. That fondue pot from 2009? The waffle maker you used once? Maybe? We all have them. Gadgets bought with good intentions. But over time, they become just another thing to work around, not work with. The problem isn't the tool itself. It's that it takes up space, mental and physical, in a kitchen that should feel calm, not cluttered. One viewer wrote to me, "I realized I was constantly moving around tools I never used, while struggling to find the one spatula I needed every day." Here's a fresh approach. Keep tools that serve you at least once a week. Favor items that are multi-purpose, like an immersion blender instead of a bulky countertop one, or kitchen scissors that also crack nuts and open jars. Donate rarely used gadgets to someone who will use them, or repurpose them in creative ways. I've seen a spiralizer turned into a chic flower holder. The truth is simple. It's not how many tools you own. It's how often they serve your life. Decluttering these items isn't just about saving space. It's about reclaiming ease and freedom in your kitchen again. Imagine this. You step into your kitchen tomorrow morning, and it feels lighter. Not just physically, but emotionally. Everything has a place. Everything you touch had a purpose. And more importantly, it all feels safe. Your kitchen isn't just where you cook, it's where you nourish, where you take care of others and yourself. And the truth is, you deserve a space that reflects the way you want to feel: healthy, peaceful, and empowered. By clearing out the outdated, the broken, the just-in-case clutter, you're making room for what really matters. You're not just tossing out an old pan or worn dishcloth. You're choosing energy over exhaustion, clarity over chaos, vitality over worry. And don't worry, you don't have to do it all in a day. Start with just one drawer, one cabinet, one decision that puts you first. So let me ask you, which kitchen item will you declutter today? Drop it in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step. And if this video made you think differently, if it gave you even one helpful idea, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or family member who could use a fresh start too. And most importantly, hit subscribe. Because around here, we believe that growing older doesn't mean fading out. It means stepping into a new chapter with wisdom, grace, and a whole lot of joy. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourself and your kitchen.